Hey beauties, morning to you. All right, this one is dedicated to parents, especially our Jamaican parents. We have been, unfortunately, and I'm talking predominantly, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're upper class, lower class, middle class, uptown, downtown, round town, there has been an aggressive way that many parents have parented. It is because of, I suppose, coming from slavery, maybe not having strong emotional intelligence, not having a strong IQ. And you may believe that these things don't affect your level of aggression and your level of anxiety. But one of the fundamental reasons why you will see many people aggressive is the reality that they're not really so educated. Their emotional intelligence is lower than what it really should be. So what has happened, the frustration of not knowing what to do, the best possible response or the best possible words, because you're limited. So if you're only limited within a circle and you don't know how to get out of the circle, you're going to operate in the parameters or the parameter of the circle. And that level of aggressive poor parenting has been passing down from generation to generation. Some of the times I would hear people talk about the type of abusive beatings they would get from their parents, although they say it made them into a better human being. Maybe in a sense, but I think it has affected them greatly and gravely because they have resolved within themselves that they would never do this to their children. Some of them have even limited the access the grandparents can have to their children because of fear of bad treatment, especially if they're not the preferred child. Parents, many of you have poor relationship with your children consistently, and it's seemingly not improving because this is a spiritual warfare, one. But two, some of them really and truly want is an apology for your infractions, for your mistakes. Yes, you wouldn't understand the healing properties or the healing property behind an apology, a sincere apology. Just to humble yourselves and say, son, daughter, I am sorry. I made some serious blunders, some serious misconducts, infractions. I did you wrong because I didn't know better. I didn't know how to control my emotions, and this is all I knew. And I just act in my feelings. I act according to what my soul is presently. Remember, the soul is a composite of the mind, the will, and the emotions. And because of that, I only operated in the parameters that I knew. Yes, I have a knowledge that there is a better way, but it has not reached my soul man as yet. So it is not a part of me. It is something that I would have to cultivate. I'd have to practice. And bad habits are extremely hard to die. And because of that, I only knew what to do in adverse situations. So you don't do what I say to do. I only knew how to box you down and to tell you the worst things. I only knew how to say you're cursed, you're ugly, you're not a good child, you're dunce, you're stupid. God is going to punish you because you don't honor your parents. All these negative, vitriolic, rancorous words. And my dear son and daughter, I am truly sorry. Please forgive me and accept my forgiveness and apology. Know that you're a beautiful child, a beautiful daughter, a handsome son. You are blessed and highly favored by God. You are brilliant, even if it is not so about your child right now, But what you're doing, you're planting the seeds of righteousness within them. And let me tell you something, tears will begin to fall. Tears will begin to fall generally. And that is when you will see the healing process. But you have to be very conscious, parents, because even though you say all of this, it's easy to revert to the old way. You have to get up daily and say, Lord, help me to display the right attitudes, the right attributes towards my children. Lisa Hannah had visited our remand center some years ago, she said. And when the young lady fell asleep on her shoulder and got up, she said, I knew how I'm going to kill my mother. And that was frightening. greatly and gravely frightening. And she asked her, why would you want to kill your own mother? She said, my mother tortures me. She tells me the worst things ever. And when Dr. Herbert Gale in 2019, at a 2019 summit, he was quoting the figure, something in the 75% bracket, why you had a lot of recidivism, meaning people going back into the penitentiary. And they did repeated killings. It was because they were tortured by their mothers. It was very specific. It talked about mothers. There is something both parents are significant, equally important in the life of a child. But I think there must have been a reason why God allowed the mother to be the predominant single parent as opposed to the man. In other words, you have far more single parent mothers than single parent. You have far more single parent mothers than single parent fathers across the globe. And maybe there's a reason. Maybe if it were the other way around, trust me, the mayhem, the upheaval probably would be 10 times greater. There is a special caring and nurturing that the mother generally can emit that maybe it is not within the father. I don't know. I can only speak to the innate qualities that I see generally men will display, and the innate qualities that I will generally see women display. If you notice in the Bible, it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loves the church and gave himself up for her. It never cautioned women to love men. It's almost easy for women to love men. That is why you find women tend to get more used and abused in relationships than the other way around. You really find the Delilahs and the Jezebels in terms of using a man and the man is head over heels in love with her. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm talking about generally as a woman that the man will trick and use. Because maybe there's something innate in us that we can be loyal and devoted and develop what true love is if we are taught the right and proper way quickly, or maybe quicker than the man, maybe. But they killed repeatedly, the children said, in these remand centers because their parents, their mothers tortured them. They treated them bad. So all they knew was bad, and that anger grew with them. And when it moves it from anger, it goes into bitterness, it goes into hardness, it goes into rage. So anybody that defiles them, so to speak, they just kill you. Because the heart is now bitter and hardened. They just kill you. They don't know any better. Because they have not heard soft language, soft words. Baby, I love you from their mothers. Sweetie, you're special. Sweetie, you don't have to do this. I give the example of when I was a child and a man was passing selling brooms, those Rastafarians were selling a broom or something, she said. And I don't know if somebody was mocking him, like a neighbor, and he cursed a lot of bad words. And my mother was so frightened. She said, oh my, because it's the first now she, assumed that I would be hearing it. I don't know what age I would have been, maybe 4 or 5, playing with my dolly. And 2 weeks later, I guess the dolly giving trouble. And I just regurgitated basically the same words, verbatim, she said, bad words. And instead of being harsh as a mother and aggressive and cowing me down because she feels that she has to be a disciplinarian, she just lifted me up, ran quickly to me, lifted me up, sat me on her leg, she said, on her leg. And said, sweetie, so you don't have to say those words. They're not good words, She said she just spoke to me gently. They're not good words, whatever. She said, I never did it again. And I tell people that's one of the reasons why you will not hear me use indecent language. I'm not one of those, using curse words. And, and then giving my heart and mind and soul to Jesus Christ makes it even double. If I'm relaying an information, I have no issues saying it to you. If I'm relaying a situation, but in terms of like an everyday thing. So this was before, this has nothing to do with Christianity. It's just how I was raised in that aspect of it. But parents, an apology would heal the heart of your child. Don't just move from apology, move from potentiality, go into action. Because action is indicative of real and true transformation. Say to the child, tell them positive attributes, even if it is not so right now. You would be so surprised. The healing that it brings in your family, and everything turns around for you and your child or children. Even if you don't feel it, do it. It will become a part of you eventually. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share.